Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United want Kalvin Phillips from Leeds because Man United have ended the pursuit of Declan Rice because of West Ham's 90 million valuation. Now Leeds value Kalvin Phillips at 60 million. Phillips fears that Marcelo Bielsa will leave Leeds at the end of the season. Kalvin Phillips has got a contract with Leeds until 2024. He's played over 200 games for Leeds in all competitions. He's been at Leeds for like 11 years. Joined their youth setup in 2010. He was in their youth academy for 4 years. He's been in Leeds' senior squad since 2014. Kalvin Phillips is a defensive midfielder. He's the age of 25. Before Leeds, he was at Wortley. Kalvin Phillips started his career as a box-to-box midfielder or a central midfielder. Then he converted into a defensive midfielder. Man United have done transfer business with Leeds before. Obviously we got Alan Smith off them, Rio Ferdinand off them, and Eric Cantona off them. Leeds obviously got Daniel James in this year's summer transfer window. Leeds paid 25 million for him. Kalvin Phillips' family hate Manchester United. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be staying at Manchester United for at least this season. Solskjaer is under pressure because we've lost 3 of our last 4 games in all competitions. We've lost 2 home games in a row and haven't scored 1 goal in our last 2 games. But despite that, the Man United board retain full support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, in the summer transfer window, Solskjaer got very good backing. John Murtough backed him. You know, John Murtough is our director of football, and Man United certainly made the right decision getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. Darren Fletcher also backed him in this year's summer transfer window, and we made the right decision recommending Darren Fletcher back in. Darren Fletcher knows the club through thick and thin. He endured 2 decades as a player for Man United. And surprisingly, our owners, the Glazers, backed Solskjaer, but only because they'd been persuaded to. Because obviously, towards the end of last season, the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. And reflecting on that, Man United fans protested against the Glazers at the Carrington training ground. Then they protested against the Glazers outside Old Trafford. Solskjaer revealed though that the Glazers apologised. The Glazers have been at Manchester United for 16 years. So they've been with us since 2005. They purchased the club for 500 million. The Glazers have put Manchester United in so much debt, and that's the main reason why they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. So yeah, Solskjaer's job is safe for now. Solskjaer has to win a trophy this season to basically save his job. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. And the other week, Solskjaer did mention that we must leave a legacy of silverware. Solskjaer's ambition for this season is to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. You know, we should be winning the Premier League this season because we've got a title winning squad, so there's no more excuses. And earlier on this season, Solskjaer told his Man United squad that it's better than the 1999 treble winning team that Ole was part of. Obviously, there is some Man United fans that want Antonio Conte to replace Solskjaer at Man United. Agbonihal came out and said that Man United should sack Solskjaer and appoint Antonio Conte in. A few weeks ago it said that Antonio Conte would accept the Man United job if Solskjaer was to get sacked. Conte wants a winning project, so he rejected Arsenal and he rejected Tottenham. Conte has got a good pedigree behind him, won a lot of silverware in his home nation. And he's managed in the Premier League before. When he was in his first season at Chelsea, he won the Premier League. Conte is available because he left Inter Milan at the end of last season. I think there's some Man United fans that want Zidane in. But like I say, we've got to give Solskjaer a bit more time. But like I've said to you before, he's not the long-term manager for Man United. I can assure that with you. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager. And I did say to you, this season is going to be massive for Solskjaer because he's got big expectations to exceed. In the summer, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and we made a mistake giving him that new contract because I can assure he won't see it out. Solskjaer has been in charge of Manchester United now for almost 3 years. This December he'd have been in charge of the club for 3 years. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. In Solskjaer's first 3 months, he was the interim manager, did very, very well as the interim manager, so reflecting on that, the club decided to give him the job permanently. Obviously, there was some Man United fans that thought we made a mistake giving him the job permanently. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that particular season to decide or not whether he's the right candidate. You know, Solskjaer has no proven pedigree as a manager. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He endured 2 spells at Molde, and before Molde he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was terrible. He only endured a short tenure at Cardiff. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. And before, he managed the Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of the team grow and develop. But Solskjaer has gained some managerial experience, reflecting now on his being Man United manager, and he's learned quite a few things on the job, but there's still plenty of things Solskjaer's got to learn because he is still a young coach. But whatever happens regarding Solskjaer, we'll always adore him because at the end of the day, he is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. I've said to you as well, Solskjaer's decision making has to improve because analysing the vast majority of the games he's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. Solskjaer has managed over 150 games as Man United manager in all competitions. Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. And he knew he had a lot to do when he came in. Now, I have got to give credit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You've got to turn around and say, yeah, he has done a good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. And I think in certain aspects he has brought consistency back. Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. So far, Solskjaer has signed 14 players and we've spent like 441 million under the Solskjaer era at the moment. In the summer of 2019, Ollie recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January 2020, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagala in on loan. Then in the summer of 2020, he brought Edison Cavani in, Alex Telles, Donny van der Beek, Amad Diallo and Facundo Pellistri. And in this year's summer transfer window, Ollie brought Tom Eaton in, Sancho, Varane and re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in, which he knew he had to do. He's got rid of quite a lot of players permanently. He's loaned quite a few players out. The players he's got rid of permanently. So he offloaded Daniel James in the summer transfer window. Also released Sergio Romero and Joe Pereira. Solskjaer also offloaded Agallo, Rojo and Fossa-Mensah back in January. Ollie's offloaded players like Young, Valencia, Smalling, Darmian. Also offloaded Fellaini back in January 2019. Also offloaded Herrera, Angel Gomez, Lukaku and Sanchez. So they're a lot of the players he's got rid of permanently since he got appointed in. Ollie had loaned quite a few players out in the summer transfer window. Obviously loaned Ethan Laird out, Axel Tuanzebe, Andres Pereira, Brandon Williams, Tahith Chong and Facundo Pellistri. Solskjaer has more or less given everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players, like he showed he would do when he got appointed in as Man United manager, and I like the way Solskjaer develops the youth. Progress has been made under Ollie, because obviously in his first full season he got us to 3 semi-finals. Obviously last season, which was his second full season, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, the FA Cup quarter-final, and last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager. Unfortunately, we lost the final. So there you go, and obviously what Solskjaer produced in his first full season, his second full season, he's looking to build on that this season. Last season Solskjaer got us a second place finish, and in his first full season he got us a third place finish. We've got a very good away record as well in the Premier League. I think we're unbeaten in our last 29 Premier League away games or something like that. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League since January 2020. So there you go. And like I've said to you, Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. Despite me criticising him a lot. But when we're inconsistent and when we've been inconsistent and when the results are poor, not all of the blame stems from Ole. You know, obviously he's accountable for certain things, but as you all know, there's still certain players at Man United that are not good enough to represent the club. And like I said, I don't like the way the football club has been run for a long time. I'm glad Woodward's leaving Man United, by the way. It got announced Woodward was leaving back in April when that European Super League came into the equation. Woodward has had a 16-year association with the club. Woodward was obviously accountable for how poor our recruitment was for so long, plus we've overpaid in that for players in recent years. But, you know, despite that, Woodward has said several times before that he'd back Solskjaer, and he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe, even when we was enduring them really bad periods when Ole was close to being sacked. You know, Man United are going to sell players next year. It said a couple of weeks ago that Solskjaer is willing to sell up to 7 players in January. That includes Martial and Donny van der Beek. We've definitely got to offload Anthony Martial because Martial is not good enough to represent the club. Martial obviously played against West Ham in the Carabao Cup, struggled to make an impact. A couple of chances fell for him, but his finishing was poor. And he was isolated for the vast majority of the game. Now it says Man United are ready to sell Martial in January. We're ready to accept offers of 40 million for Martial. Now Martial has been a long-term target for Tottenham. I think Martial's open to joining another Premier League club. Last summer, Atletico Madrid went in for him, and Barcelona are considering making a move for him next year. Martial rejected the chance to join Lyon on loan on deadline day in the summer transfer window. Don't forget Solskjaer was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. Well, before the start of the season, it says Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial as he remains part of his plans. Martial's got 3 years left on his contract. He's been at Man United for like 6 years. He scored 78 goals for Man United in 264 games in all competitions and got Martial in a deal worth 58 million from Monaco back in 2015. Last season he was out with a knee injury for a while, and Donny van der Beek, he doesn't get enough game time at Manchester United. And I've already said Solskjaer needs to start him in the Premier League. Van der Beek didn't play any part against Villa, but he played the full 90 minutes against West Ham in the Cup last week, and he put a very good performance out. Van der Beek also started against Young Boys, got taken off at half time, and I heavily criticised Solskjaer for that. Because Van der Beek was our best player in the first half of that game. Don't forget Solskjaer rejected Van der Beek's exit because it said Everton were close to signing him on loan. Many clubs have been in for Van der Beek. Was it not so long ago, Don Hutchinson told Donny van der Beek he must leave Man United to save his career, and the other week Paul Ince came out and said that Van der Beek has absolutely no chance of staying at Man United. A few weeks ago now, Van der Beek told Solskjaer his best position. He reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8. And in recent weeks, Van der Beek's agent has been doing a lot of talking. This season is his second full season at Man United. We got Van der Beek, for 40 million with add-ons included, and he's got a contract with Man United till 2025. And he's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. Lingard, there's a chance he'll leave in January. Lingard didn't play against Phillips, but he played last week against West Ham in the Carabao Cup. He had some chances, should have got a penalty because obviously he got dragged down by Mark Noble by his shirt. Lingard obviously came off the bench against West Ham in the league and scored the winning goal, and what a goal that was. Prior to that league game against West Ham, Solskjaer said in his press conference that Lingard will be a Man United player next season because he's red through and through. That's what he said. Lingard's current contract at Man United expires next year. A few weeks ago now, Lingard rejected a Man United contract offer over playing time concerns, despite him being in the last year of his deal. Last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Earlier on this season, though, Solskjaer did confirm that Lingard remains part of his plans. Diego Dalot, good chance we'll offload him next year. Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Dalot played against West Ham in the Cup last week, and what a performance he put out. Dalot's obviously in contention to play against Villarreal tomorrow because Wan-Bissaka's not available. Bissaka is suspended because he got sent off in the 2-1 defeat to Young Boys for stamping on Martins. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan. Reflecting on that, he gained some experience. We got Dalot 3 years ago from Porto. We paid 19 million for him. Dalot has got a contract with Man United till 2023. Phil Jones, good chance we'll offload him next year. Phil Jones has always been inconsistent and he doesn't get in our 11. Jones made his comeback from that knee injury earlier on this season. Jones was part of the squad for the game against West Ham in the Cup, but he obviously played no part. This season is Jones' 11th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant. He's the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. Eric Bailly could offload him next year. I hope not, because Bailly is a good centre-half. Made his first start of the season last week against West Ham in the Cup, and what a performance he put out. We need to keep Eric Bailly as a backup to Varane and Maguire, so if one of them get injured, then Bailly is the plan B. But we actually prefer Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. I don't understand why, really. My only element of concern about Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect he's a liability. And Alex Telles, good chance we'll be offloading him in January as well, because Telles doesn't really get into our team, does he? Cavani, do you think he could leave in January? I think he's more likely to leave at the end of the season than January. Can't say I want Cavani to leave at all, because Cavani has made an impact since he's come in. Not so long ago, Cavani came back from injury, and Juan Mata, I think he'll be leaving either in January or the end of the season. Well, Juan Mata's contract expires at the end of the season. Earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. But yeah, we play Villarreal tomorrow in the Champions League, and we've got to win. And then obviously our next league game is Everton on Saturday. Solskjaer said we are ready to bounce back from the defeats we've had, so hopefully we can do that. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.